Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engine. I actually was meaning to do a video a while ago, and I actually did make kind of a video a few days ago, but there was no sound, and it was a terrible episode anyways, because I was, like, tired and bored. Anyways, but I'm actually in a reasonably good mood this time, so we can do an actual reasonable video. That being said, let's just jump right into it. Also, last time I made it, I had, like, no, requests, but now I do, so, now, somebody's asking me to go to the Tarantula Nebula. I don't think it's in the game, but... no, it is not. That's unfortunate. Actually, I think you can see one of the Magellanic Clouds. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's in the large one. Let's find out. If I remember correctly. I remember someone mentioning it's in the texture for it. And it might be, I might just not be seeing it. I don't remember what it looks like. Whoa, okay. Well, rip. Alright then, so somebody wants me to go to the Tadpole Galaxy, which I think I've done that before. I'll come back to that one. Let's go to this one. 3. Boop. Control V. Object not, oh, that's right, there's a question mark there, that needs to be gone. Boop, there we go. I always do that, I need to stop doing that. Right then. Galaxy. A very lovely galaxy, actually. See if I can orient myself to a better position. See if we can get a nice shot from one of these little gas trailings out here on the edge. Oh, or not. Yeah, whatever. Galaxies are always nice. I like galaxies. When they were first discovered, they were thought to just be nebula and like a part of our galaxy. Back in the day when the Milky Way was more or less the observable universe. Until it was then realized that, hey, these things are moving quite fast and away from us in varying speeds. And they're probably made up of stars, so... And actually, it was Andromeda was first postulated, and they thought, oh, okay, so, yeah, alright, they're actually galaxies separate to our own. And the universe got a whole lot bigger. Big universes are always fun. Tadpole Galaxy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we went here before. But I have so many videos that there's bound to be, oh yeah, look at that. The remnant of a galactic collision. Yeah, I remember because I went to a star or a planet somewhere in the arm here, and it was interesting. Ooh. Okay, you need to slow down. Also, I can't help but notice my channel is like 2 subscribers away from 5,000. I didn't quite notice. I wasn't even paying attention, but apparently it is. Not sure why people are still subscribing to my channel. I'm, well, not terribly interesting, at least not as much as other YouTubers, and my schedule is very sporadic. I don't do like regular uploads, but hey, whatever. I appreciate the support nonetheless. There's a lot of binaries and blues up here. A lot of these halo stars. I'm kind of a fan of halo stars because you can get really nice views of galaxies from them. A yellow dwarf with 9 planets. That sounds suspicious. Frozen ice world, cold ice world, gas giant, cold ice world, brown dwarf. Let's go to the brown dwarf. Sweet. Brown dwarf's kind of like that weird intermediate phase between low mass stars and big planets. Cause it's kind of like it's a gas giant, but it's so big that it's almost a low mass star. But it's not big enough for like self-sustaining fusion, so it's like, There's a lot of arguments and stuff about what is a brown dwarf, but they're quite fascinating. This one even glows by itself. That's just really cool. I love it. I love it. Does it have any moons? Oh my god, it does. It has a ring world. Dude. Now, if that isn't the coolest shit you've ever seen, a ring world orbiting a gas or a brown dwarf above, like, okay, a ring world orbiting a gas giant, or no, a ring world orbiting a brown dwarf, there we go, and a binary pair of a halo star above a really cool galaxy. That's just amazing. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, this place. Doesn't have any life on it, but it just looks fantastic. Look at these rings. Like, you can get really close to the rings and they're moving. Well, these ones aren't. Oh, no, enable. No, I always forget where the speed is. That's exposure. There we go. I actually have the universe move a little bit. Look at that. Oh, look, and there's the brown dwarf over there. That's kind of nauseating. I love it. It's just so cool. I love this game. I really do. Actually, the solar eclipse is in a few hours. Let's see here. It's 2:35 a.m. right now, and in my neck of the woods, the eclipse starts somewhere at like 10:30. And I'm probably gonna have a nap here in a bit, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a time lapse of it. I won't see a total. I'll probably see like maybe 75% eclipse from where I'm at, but I'll try to do pictures in a time lapse. No guarantees on that. I'm not quite sure what the weather's supposed to be tomorrow or right now. I'm thinking mostly sunny, maybe some clouds, so that'll kind of determine how long the time lapse is, because clouds ruin everything. But we'll see. Or if we're gonna get pictures, I don't know. I got my solar glasses like last month. I ordered them online, and that was a good move because everybody's freaking out because everyone here is like sold out of them, and people don't have their glasses because they left at the last minute. And it's like, yeah, you don't do that. So that should be fun. I'll definitely upload a video about that afterwards if I get a good time lapse or some pictures. My setup's gonna be pretty ghetto. I'm gonna be using my camera again, but like not my crappy one, my actual good-ish one, which is actually reasonable enough. I can get pictures of like the Orion Nebula and stuff with it, just using it to zoom by itself. I have some pictures of the moon, which I've showed a little bit. They're on my Twitter account, anyways. But I'm gonna tape, because I bought multiple of these. I'm gonna tape on a solar filter to the front of the lens, and zoom in, and it'll look. I have no idea how it's gonna look, but we'll see. It should be an experience. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Anyways, let's leave. Oh, look at that. There's the brown dwarf. It's just so cool. I love this so much. What's this? Who is companion? It appears to be a warm oceana. Wow, this brown dwarf has a temperate terra and a warm oceana. Oh, look at that. Oh wait, no, I was wrong. I was thinking the oh, okay. The clouds were being affected more by the brown dwarf than the sun, but nope, it's the sun. Kind of. It's kind of skewed off. Like it's kind of aiming towards the brown dwarf. So you have the uneven warming and cooling, which means that this is putting off a lot of heat. Considering it's glowing, that's not completely unexpected. Anyways, let's carry on. Oh boy. I think I was watching movies. Which one did I watch recently? Oh, yeah, Sunshine. That's right. I already talked about that. I liked it. Movies are fun. Although I canonically have really shit taste in movies. Like, I don't know why, but apparently I do. And it isn't even like an opinion. It's like what's the word? Subjectively or objectively have shit taste in movies. And it's a little disappointing because so many times I'll find a movie that I like, and then later on I'll find out that it did terrible at the box office, or people just generally hate it, and it's like, oh, alright. Like, that happens so often. Some of them I understand. Like, for example, I like the Batman movies with George Clooney because they're goofy and stupid, and I love it, and Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. But I understand those. Those were terrible movies, but they're fun. But other ones, like, for example, the movie Mission to Mars, I actually like that movie a lot, but it apparently did terrible in the box office, and I don't understand why, because well, I suppose it's not really memorable. The plot is very simple, and the story progression is very simple, I will admit, but I still enjoyed it. Ooh, a hot ice... Wait, what? A hot ice giant? You know what, let's do an experiment here. Let's look at this hot gas giant that is glowing by itself. Now, what's the difference between this and a brown dwarf? Not exactly. It's a... I don't know, I guess it all comes down to mass, really. Brown dwarfs, I guess, have more mass, but aren't big enough to be full-on stars. What kind of moons do you have? Just cold deserts and hot salinas and ice worlds, I suppose. What other movies? I liked John Carter. That was a good movie. Well, it did terrible. Again, it also did terrible in the box office, but that may have been more to do with the marketing was terrible for it. But I enjoyed it. It actually was very faithful to the source material. Like, there were some liberties, but overall it was good. Ah, there we go. I don't know. It seems like I have just objectively bad taste in movies. I don't know. There are other movies that I do like that, you know, were popular. Like, I loved Interstellar. It was fun. I really enjoyed Gravity. It's like people were like, oh, it was so inaccurate. It's like, yeah, of course it was, but it was a fun movie. Well, maybe not fun. It was pulse pounding and all that, but I enjoyed it. The data on here. Interstellar was good. The first Alien movie was like the greatest. I love the Alien movies. The first one's great. The second one's great. The third one was kind of bad. The fourth one was terrible. All the Alien vs. Predator movies I just ignore because I don't really care. Prometheus, I liked Prometheus, but it also, people thought it was terrible. I haven't seen Alien Covenant yet. It's been getting terrible reviews, but I'm still going to watch it, and I'll probably enjoy it. I don't know. Again, shit tastes. General, abiogenetic marine. Lovely. Lovely. Ooh. Where is the galaxy? There is the galaxy. See, are we underneath the galaxy? Or are we actually above it? Ooh. Yeah, there's a perspective. There's no up or down in space. There's also no north or south in space. A compass in space would be fairly useless. A compass in space would be about as useful as a screen door in space. Yeah. Compasses only work on planets with magnetic fields, and even then, it only works if you have, like, if you already kind of know the context. Like, where is this planet's magnetic field? Like, where is this planet's magnetic north versus its, you know, polar north? It's like you can land on a planet that has a magnetic field that's offset almost 90 degrees from its axis. Then it's like, all right. As long as you know that context, it would be useful, but otherwise, it might not be terribly useful. Contextual. Organic unicellular aerial life. Aerial life's always fun. Gas giants are always fun. Whenever I think of aerial life, I always think of Carl Sagan talking about floaters and sinkers and hunters, and I think those are the three main ones he talked about when he was talking about life on gas giants. I might be wrong about that. Oh, my jaw kind of hurts. I'm tired of my stupid... I think my left ear is conspiring to, like, just ruin everything. I don't know. I'll get it dealt with one of these days. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I have a structural defect in it. At least that would explain a lot of my issues. I could go into the galaxy, but I'm enjoying Halo stars, so... Whoop. Oh, speaking of movies, Daniel Craig's doing another James Bond movie. Which I'm okay with that. I like Daniel Craig as James Bond. He's not my favorite James Bond, but he's pretty cool. My favorite Bond is still Pierce Brosnan, honestly. or Roger Moore. Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore, but for different reasons. It's kind of like I enjoyed Sean Connery because he did the part very well, but I liked Roger Moore because he kind of brought more levity to the role, and it was hilarious. And I don't know, he was fun. But Pierce Brosnan, like, he played the part very well, and GoldenEye is probably one of the better ones, honestly. Like, in the entire franchise, GoldenEye was up there when it comes to my favorites. However, my actual favorite, I'd have to say, is probably You Only Live Twice. That was Sean Connery, wasn't it? Yeah. That was one where, like, I rate, like, Bond villains, or, I guess any kind of, like, those super, like, agent things from, like, the 60s and 50s and 40s. Like, I always rate them on how stupid or convoluted the bad guy's plot is. And the more stupid and convoluted the plot, the better it is. Like, for example, Octopussy, the plot was so convoluted and stupid, I loved it. Because it was like, someone stole a bomb, and they were going to hide it in a circus cannon, and they were going to smuggle it out of East Germany into somewhere else in Europe, and they were going to set it off, and it was going to be labeled as a nuclear accident that was then going to make people in Europe want to call for disarmament, which would make NATO have to bow to pressure, which would then allow the Soviet Union to build up their forces and then take over without any fear of retaliation. It was really, really the story. Well, the story was great, but the bad guy's plot was really stupid and convoluted, and I loved it. Or like Thunderball, similar kind of thing. It's like they had this plot. They plot to crash a bomber into the water to steal the bomb, which they were then gonna ransom back to the government, and it's so dumb. But I always enjoyed You Only Live Twice because the story was, again, incredibly expensive and convoluted, that with that much funds and resources, they probably could have, like, not have to worry about destroying the world. Because, like, they were, like, basically, they set up an entire base that was able to launch orbital spacecraft and do controlled powered descent, and they were going to, like, basically keep stealing spacecraft from America and Russia until they blamed each other and then went to war over it, completely ignoring the fact that it kept happening to both sides, so people on both sides could connect the dots very easily and determine that they're being screwed with by a third party, and also ignoring the fact that there's with that kind of technology and resources, there was so much easier ways to make NATO and Warsaw Pact go to war. It was just so dumb. I loved it. I love it so much. Moonraker had a pretty straightforward bad guy plot. Basically, it was very Nazi. It was just like, send genetically perfect people into space, and then kill everyone on Earth, and then return them to Earth when everyone was dead, and repopulate the species. It was very simple. How he went about doing it was the very convoluted part, but, I don't know. It's great. I'm not finding a lot of interesting... Well, I'm getting distracted by James Bond and convoluted story plots. But, it's fun. It's fun. I always love these just really stupid... Or I always think of the, Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode where they made fun of that, where they had Dr. Bashir doing a holodeck program where he was like a secret agent, and there was an accident, and the transporter patterns of a bunch of people had to be stored in the computers, and they took up the what do you call it? The holodeck memory. So the characters in the holodeck program were being represented by the people, and if they died in the holodeck, their patterns would be erased. So Bashir had to keep the program running and keep everyone alive, which was difficult because they were all playing different parts. And in the end, he manages to save the day by going along with the bad guy's plan to destroy the world. And it was so great. It was such a great twist. But again, even that, it was a convoluted plan, but it was intentionally convoluted and stupid because it was making fun of like old spy thrillers. I actually love Deep Space Nine. Not gonna lie. I think Voyager's probably my favorite James Bond, which is also or Star Trek. Voyager is my favorite Star Trek. There we go. That's an unpopular opinion apparently. Then again, I also liked Enterprise, and that's also an unpopular opinion. Science fiction fans can be, like, ruthless. Like, my goodness. Let's go to the scorched desert. Because that sounds like a fun time. This planet's also glowing without, like, on its dark side. Oh, it's probably because, I'm actually not entirely sure. Let's land and find out. Whoa. Wow, what an interesting place. The ground must be so warm that it's just constantly glowing, even in the night. It has a thick atmosphere too. My goodness. Considering the star is very bright, let's go on the Terminator and see what that's like. Actually, let's try to do a day-night cycle. Alright, so we're sitting here on the edge of these mountains. How do we speed this up? That's exposure. And then, whoosh. And then I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Wow. That's really bright. And then the night falls, and it's just orange and glowy. And then it comes back. Wait, what? Is this in a binary? Or am I just dumb? Or both. That's a very, oh, and then we're back to dark. And light. Yeah, there's a discrepancy between the day and night cycle that I'm not understanding. Is this a binary? Oh, I think it's getting reflections off this moon. A scorched ice giant? What is this? That's just... Whatever. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll try to get some eclipse stuff done tomorrow. If you have ideas for a place for me to go or things to look at or talk about even, please leave in the comments because I like having direction in these videos despite it never being scripted. It's just usually, it's more of a podcast than a series really. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and space.